नमस्कार। रसोई के रहस्य के फेस्टिवल्स ऑफ इंडिया के नए पड़ाव में आप सबका स्वागत है। We are stepping into April and it's a month of celebrations. It's a month of observance. There are many interesting things that happen during the month of April, especially this year. We have celebrated many festivals until now, and in April this time is also the month of Ramzan, which is the holy month of Ramzan, a fasting observance, as we all know, that is observed by people of the Muslim faith right across the world. We know some about it. We know what happens. We know we've seen friends, colleagues, and many others around us that fast and, fast without water, without swallowing spit and things like that for the entire day. But there's also some wonderful food that goes before and after the fast. So I have a guest with me today who's going to walk us through this whole practice, basically, who's going to tell us what is it that she does in her family when it's time for the holy month of Ramzan. So let me introduce you to my guest today. I have with me Shehrezad from Hyderabad, and she's somebody who's very fond of her cooking, her baking, and her knitting. And in my conversation with her, I've realized she has many little stories about traditional Hyderabadi food that, it's stated, it's a city I've lived in all my life and even I don't know about. So I'm looking forward to this conversation, as I'm sure all of you are. So without much ado, let me introduce you to Shehrezad. Hi, Shehrezad. Welcome to Rasoi ke Rahasya.
Hi, Payal.
Wonderful to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So it's almost time for Ramzan to begin.
Yeah.
And I want to know what is happening in your home to get ready for this very long 31 days of fasting.
First thing is we try and taste different types of dates which are available now in the market so that we can stock up for the month,
right.
And also go around shopping for the sevia and things like that. And then make a few things which can be just prepped and so that we don't need to work too hard during the month.
Yes.
So just prep a few things and keep like some sauces and chutneys and things like that with that. And especially since it's going to be quite warm this year again, so
yes.
We need to have a few things ready.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what is it that happens, as Ramzan begins? I know, having lived in Hyderabad and having had so many friends around here, I know that there is, something called the Sehri, where the family wakes up and cooks early in the morning before sunrise and eats. Because I remember also hearing like a messenger, somebody who goes beating one little drum around early in the morning to wake people up.
Yeah. You still have that in a few areas where he comes and he wakes you up saying ki, like it's time for Sehri, and now I think he goes around on a cycle and he wakes you up much before the Rosa time starts. Yeah.
So
that
happens?
You can get up and prepare your food. So people we usually eat well in the morning. It varies. In our home, usually it starts off with a typical khichdi, keema, tilki chutney, papad and all. Then as Ramzan progresses, then it's toned down to just bread and egg. That's it for Sehri. But usually the first 2-3 are, this is it, like khichdi, keema, the traditional Hyderabadi breakfast food sort of. And then since it's summer, then we tend to have a few cooling things, like some people have kheer for Sehri.
Right.
So because you need to keep a check on that also, that like you don't fall ill and things like that. Yeah. So we wake up early. I wake up much ahead of, usually the cutoff time is around before 5. So I tend to wake up at around 3:30, 3:45. People find it's too early, but I like to go about it in a relaxed way.
True.
Especially because chai bhi pina rehta. Some people drink cold tea, some people want their tea hot. So keeping all that in mind, zara jaldi uth jate. And then after that, the whole day is just usually in prayer, and you can say abstaining from anything that is bad, not getting angry, not fighting, all those things matter, like, yeah.
So it's more a cleansing sort of, it's like coming together, it's like introspecting within yourself, and it's prayer, and it's abstinence, and it's I think it's more a cleansing kind of a process, isn't it, in some ways?
Yeah, and also you have to also take care of the have-nots. A lot of charity is given out during Ramzan.
Right.
So zakat, that's called.
So this giving away happens in whatever form you see fit, cash, kind, या जो भी जिस तरह से भी जिसको जरूरत पड़े उस तरह से.
हाँ, जैसा जिसको, sometimes it's clothes, and kabhi it's like people want fees for their children or whatever, and then sometimes it's hospital bills, and various things like that. Weddings sometimes, and even though the wedding may not be in Ramzan, but people know that this is the time when they will be able to get, so that they themselves approach who and now you have various organizations, charitable trusts and all, who give out the things and all.
And so people can give in to them, and then they can disperse it further up and things like that, knowing that it's going to the right places.
And also the other thing is, like, others who are fasting and who are not so comfortable, so food is also given and all that. So again, there are organizations who make these little packages for the month and distribute it to the poor. And then there's another thing called Fitr, which they give before Eid. That has to be given before Eid so that the poor can also celebrate Eid, with. You can give it however you want, money or whatever, so that they can buy new clothes and things like that.
How wonderful! I mean, it's basically bringing the whole community together and ensuring that everyone has something to look forward to at the end of these grueling month, this entire month of fasting. But I've seen people move around and do things so comfortably, because having had colleagues and things like that while we were working, everyone goes about their days like, it's just initially shuru ke dino mein thoda sa slow down hota hai. But after that, you notice they're all about their own thing, like kuch hai hi nahi.
Yeah, like first 2-3 days, but of course your body needs to get used to it. तो जरा मुश्किल दिखता, फिर उसके बाद जरा it's like just routine sort of.
It's also mind over matter. I think your mind just gets used to, and your mind's telling the body that, hey, it's okay, it doesn't matter.
Actually, when friends ask me whether, are you hungry or thirsty, what do you feel? I say the only thing we really miss is having so many hours of sleep at a stretch. That's the only thing. In the night, you wake up early and you tend to sleep late also, because I usually pray in the night after my fast and dinner and all that.
Yes.
But so that is one thing which is missed.
Which goes up and down a little bit.
Yeah.
Just amazing, no? See, we tend to think that food and water and all these things are the most important component of our life, and khana nahi hai to kaise hota, pani nahi hai to kaise hota. But look at your body asking for sleep more than anything else. I mean, I think it's such a beautiful reset also, in a way. No? It's just your whole understanding of your body changes. I think you have more respect for your body now.
Yeah. You need to take care of your body.
Yes, absolutely. So that's
you would never thought that sleep is such an important factor, like in your everyday, because you go to sleep, wake up in the morning and all.
Yes. Children also fast. I mean, I know that a lot of kids are always looking forward to it, and for fasting and things like that. Do little children also fast?
Yeah. It's up to the child. There's no fixed age when a child needs to fast. But it's like above 7 years old, he or she can fast, the child. And it's quite an exciting, like in earlier, nowadays, I don't know how many people have it, but we used to have something called Rose Rakhai. That is the first day the child fasts. And so for Sehri, you have a little small party, in the sense all like a few relatives and friends just come over and you have the Sehri party sort of. Then after that, for Iftar again, it's a little celebration. So you can say the child looks forward to it because it is his day sort of.
It's an initiation of sorts into the practice, into this entire thing. Oh, how interesting. How nice for them also. No? Because I see kids, they're so, any kind of fasting, I see children as they're, it's like something new and it's exciting and they all want to do.
Yeah, very exciting. I mean, they feel so important that finally they are able to do something which only the elders were doing.
That's it. I was just about to say exactly that. They're always thinking how we are finally there type, feel very grown up about everything.
Yeah, that now they're grown up and all. Yeah. Like when you're kids, you really want to be a grown up.
Absolutely. So then the Sehri finishes off. So at about 5, you're saying is the cutoff, and like you said, khichdi. So it's a full meal, and you drink whatever you want to, and things like that until then.
Yeah.
And the fast is broken at sunset.
Sunset, yeah. That is with the evening prayers. It's broken then.
And what happens then when the fast is broken? What's the first thing that is done when the fast is broken?
Usually the fast is broken with the dates, and then I'll tell you about our typical Hyderabadi iftar. Like we have this thing called dal, which is not a liquid dal. It is a chana dal, which is soaked and just boiled till it is just tender to the bite, like.
Right.
And you mix a little bit of salt and green chili, coriander and mint paste and lime juice. And then, or you can have salt, pepper and lime juice with a lot of coriander like sprinkled over and all.
Right.
That is the typical Hyderabadi thing which we have. And then the other thing is, actually we eat a lot of cooling stuff like...
right.
So, dahi vadas we make, not the usual ones. They're made out of besan. Besan just, the batter just fried and then soaked in dahi, curds. And then you put a baghar on it, like with zira and dried red chili and that on it. Like. So these two are the very typical things with dates and a lot of fruits.
Right.
Surprisingly, we eat a lot of fruit in Ramzan. And now because it's hot, we have lime juice or watermelon juice or things like that. And then we have, in our house, we have some non-veg food also because of all the boys in my house. They have to have something non-veg.
Fair enough.
They cannot. Yeah. So we have like lukhmis or... Nowadays, the internet is full of all recipes.
Yes.
So we just like to try something new and basically not keep it monotonous sort of.
Absolutely. Every day there's something. So it's always nice. And Iftar is a time that I know that a lot of people get together and they eat together. And after, the prayers are over, people finish work. And so I've always wondered, so when the fast is broken, you eat something and then dinner is served afterwards? Or how is it? Because between sunset and dinner, there's still quite a gap.
Yeah, so most people have a very early dinner so that quite a few people go to the masjid for their night prayers, which they like. There's a prayer and then part of the Quran is incorporated in the prayers so that the whole month you can finish one Quran. So that's why people prefer to have dinner early. But it depends on each family. Sometimes you just skip dinner altogether if the iftar has been heavy and like that. And then another thing which I wanted to tell you was we do send iftar to the masjids. Because quite a few people go to the mosque to break their fast. So quite a few men like. So we just send some food over to them every evening, to the masjid. Yeah.
Nice. So that's distributed over there for people who are going there to break their fast?
Yeah, bring them. It's actually considered but sawab milta if you feed a person who is fasting.
Both. Just feeding on its own is so satisfying, and it's such a wonderful feeling when when somebody has eaten something that you've cooked, and the satisfaction is immense.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Maybe because I like cooking and you are also into cooking. So I think for us food is quite a central focus.
Yes, it is. It is for a lot of people, and Hyderabadi food on its own, I think, has so much richness, and it's absolutely wonderful. So, is there anything else apart from this that we should know about this during the month? Are there any specific days that are special during the month apart from everything else before Eid finally is celebrated?
The last 10 days of Ramzan are supposed to be special because I think that was when the Quran was supposed to be revealed. But nobody knows which day exactly. So the last 10 days are considered to be quite important. But like they say that even though those are important days, you aren't going to get extra blessings for fasting those days and not fasting the rest of the days. You get your blessings for all of the days, equal sort of,
So, and also I think there's one night also, no? That is...
we call it Shab-e-Qadr. It is Laylatul Qadr in Middle East. It is in the end of Ramzan. It's, I think, 27th or 25th of Ramzan.
I see. And kuch special hai, they stay up all night, or what is it? How is it?
That is like any other Jagne ki Raat. You stay up praying. The more you pray, the better, and things like that.
It's a matter of who does whatever with it, because मेरे को इसलिए याद है because I know that the masjid around the house and things like that for that one particular night would be all lit up and things like that, and there'd be a lot of things playing on their PA system and things like that. So that's when to us we know that there's something special, especially Ramzan ke time pe, then you know that this is probably that Jagne ki Raat.
Yeah, that's towards the end. Otherwise also, in some people finish, the basic thing is to spend quite a bit of your time in prayer and asking forgiveness for all the wrongs you've done, and praying for your family, friends, every relatives and all things like that.
That's very interesting. So now to come to the food, I heard you say something very interesting about both the dal and the dahi vada. I mean, the dahi vada, we've always thought of the dahi vada being the urad dal, the white lentil that we use. And here you're telling me that you use besan. Besan is like I'm thinking of making bhajiyas.
It is something like that. It is like a bhajia, and it is actually a bhajia which is soaked in dahi, and you just put baghar on it. And of course, in the dahi, you have green chili paste again, green chili, coriander, and mint paste.
Oh, that also has that, is it? That also has the paste.
Yeah. The dahi has that, So
the batter, is it what? Is it like a thick batter? Is it a plain salt dala hua bhajia? Yeah, how is it? Besan ya chane ki dal ko peeste?
Besan mein you just mix some salt, red chili powder, and I put a little bit of soda so that it becomes a little fluffy and absorbs more dahi, and becomes a bit soft. It's basically a batter of that. You can put some coriander and things like that, chop a bit of coriander in it, and deep fry it, and then let it cool, and then mix some green chili paste, green chili, coriander, mint paste, and salt in the dahi. Dahi should be a little liquidy. In the sense you add a little water to dilute it, because otherwise if it is thick, the
bhajia won't soak it up nicely.
It'll become very creamy and not so pleasant to the taste.
Right.
So that is...
and then you give the baghar of the green chili and zira, you're saying green chili and...
Zira and red chili, dried red chili.
Dried red chili, yes.
Yeah. Just a little bit of oil, not too much, because as it is, the bhajiyas are fried. Just for it to look a bit attractive, I think.
And it also adds flavor. That fresh tadka also gives it a very nice, fresh flavor. I can actually taste it, because anything that has coriander, mint and green chili is absolutely fabulous. And you make an attempt to adapt things to make them, more healthy and... while keeping the traditional flavors in mind.
Because you can't have too many oily things, and once you break your fast, it's you can't have too much of oily food or heavy food, and biryanis and things like that are almost like a no-no in Ramzan. And and somehow, I don't know, it's so funny, but before we break our fast, you have the energy to do everything After that, if somebody asks me
Yes,
to go
I
and feel,
know.
then I just can't do it. Like,
Yeah, because at that point, tab tak, the whole energy and the whole focus is in the day and things. Once you're done, it's like those balloons जिसमें से हवा निकल जाती है. It's pretty much like that.
Now Halim has become so important in Ramzan, but we don't go out eating Halim that often, like, because it's a bit, you don't want to get up, get dressed, go out, eat. It's quite
Seriously. But I think in Hyderabad, from what I'm seeing, Halim is not for the community themselves. The Halim is for all of us who sit and wait for Ramzan to come and fresh Halim to be made so we can eat Halim. Doesn't have Everybody else is eating Halim. The whole world is eating Halim because it's Ramzan. आप लोग के लिए तो है ही नहीं वो. And tell me about the chana dal. Okay, so now this chana dal also that you spoke of, and you're saying it's very traditionally from Hyderabad. And again, this is something that I've never really heard of. I've heard of so many different versions of, making chana dal, dal cha banta, ye banta, wo banta. This is
khatti dal and all.
This is very interesting. So you're pressure cooking the dal, or how are you cooking? Soak karne ke baad mein?
I soak it for, like, what I do is when I, after Sehri, I just soak the dal.
Right.
Then when I wake up in the morning, like around 9 o'clock or so, it actually depends from year to year on the dal that you get. Like, so I pressure cook it personally for like 2 whistles.
And just very little water?
No, enough water that it doesn't burn. Yeah, quite a bit of water.
Okay.
And you then just strain it. After it's soft, you just strain it and let it cool down again. Then mix some salt and again this green chili, coriander and mint paste. And then you put a little fresh chopped coriander also on it and sprinkle some lime. So
अच्छा तो कच्चा ही खाते it's not further cooked again.
No, it's like the dal, you can see each dal piece, like it's not mashed or soft like that.
Yeah, does it have a name? Does it have a particular name?
They just say dal. Everyone says dal and we know it is this dal.
Really? Amazing.
Dal. In Ramzan, it's only this dal.
Oh, really? So, it's basically just something that you've put together, put all of these elements in it, the salt and lime juice and the mint and green chili coriander paste.
Yeah, and just mix it together. That's it.
Yum. And it sounds really tasty as well, because it's the flavors are so nice and rich and still very basic. So ये आपका जो green chili coriander mint paste है, इसमें any particular proportions which will make it, give it the taste, I mean have it taste just so?
No, just have suppose I usually make it ahead of time and freeze it because we use it every day.
Correct.
So it's just frozen and kept in little cubes.
So, but now let's say I'm making Shehrezad's green chutney. So, Shehrezad की green chutney क्या है बताइए?
Okay, so you could say I would take about quarter kg of green chilies,
right,
and 2 bunches of coriander and 2 bunches of mint, and grind it to a paste.
Big bunches. These are the big bunches that you get.
Yeah, the regular, like the tarkari wala bunches, not the big basket bunches. Okay, the smaller bunches, regular ones that you get. And a little bit of salt so that it doesn't lose its green color.
Right.
That's, just grind it together. And what I do is I freeze it in the ice cube trays.
Nice.
So that you can just take out one of the cube and use that day.
Oh, how nice! Yes, those are things that even I like to do. They make gravies and the gravy ka masala and just freeze it and keep it like that. So you can use it easy. So this is basically less of mint and coriander, more of the mirchi ka punch.
More of the mirchi, and it is not. It's a paste. It's not a liquid form.
Right. So that's why you have to use little of it, otherwise it will get really sharp.
Yeah. And Nimbu, of course, lime juice, Hyderabadi ka khatta to famous hai all over.
खट्टा तो उसका वो तब डालते ना, खट्टा तो ऊपर से डालते. You don't put it in the chutney when you're freezing it.
No, only when you squeeze it over the dal.
Wonderful. This sounds so interesting. I'm quite tempted. I have chana dal at home. I am quite tempted to try this out. I have to get hold of mint and coriander. Coriander also I have to get hold of mint.
Mint,
and
okay.
figure this out. And because abhi season mein वैसे भी mint, you get lots of mint in any case. And
Yeah.
anything meetha? Is there any meetha that goes?
Meetha is something called faluda. It's not that typical faluda which you get in a glass. It's made out of China grass and milk and sugar, and set and cut into diamonds. Like it's not very thick. It is like jiggly, like a jelly.
Right. And cardamom and stuff also in it?
I don't, because I personally don't like elaichi in my sweets.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So मतलब वो तो अपनी मर्जी है, कुछ भी डाल ले सकते हैं इसमें. It doesn't matter so much. So this is also something that you would, let's say for the iftari, you would probably have this set as well in it.
Yeah, this is another thing. And otherwise then everyone makes their own, and then samosas, and then spring rolls. Quite a few things like that. Like then you also make some bread rolls, things like that. More snacks than...
Yes. So because those are easy to handle. I mean, you can prep for them beforehand and freeze them or whatever it is, and then just ready to fry or ready to put it into the oven या जो भी जिस तरह से भी करना है तो.
And basically, like, you don't want to eat a full meal like how you would have a proper dinner every day.
Yes.
These little things are what, and a lot of fruit which is cut, and fruit chaat or plain fruit cut up fruit, like,
So it's wholesome also at the same time, apart from everything else, apart from the taste buds, it's also to ensure that all the nutrients are going into the body after the day of fasting.
Yeah, and some fiber also, and everything, like, to cool the body down. Again, lime juice is something which is commonly, and then वो कैरी का शरबत भी बनाते ना, आप शोला देखा है,
the आम का पन्ना types, the कैरी का शरबत, right?
It's called आप शोला in Hyderabad.
Yes,
it is raw mango, which is again cooked. Earlier it would be placed in the fire. That's why the name Aab Shola. So
nice. So what do they do to that?
So you peel it and take out the pulp, strain it, and add some water and sugar, and that is the juice.
Oh, nice. Achha, just plain sweet juice.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah.
That's really interesting. Nice. So see, so many little things, and summer has its own this thing. I remember going to the fruit shops, and you have this beautiful ka juice that they give you in the evenings because they've just taken it out fresh. Taza like the fruit. Of course, abhi to fruit nahi aayega, but otherwise the fruit, and they cut it up and put it on this huge block of ice, and they give it to. Oh, it's so tasty, really. So that's it. I think fruit is a wonderful thing also to, ensure that you get everything in, all the water, all the nutrients, everything is going in at the time.
Yeah.
That's this sounds really so interesting. I think it makes me look forward to everybody else's Ramzan. I know, because all of my friends have all gone quiet because I think everybody's getting ready for, I know friends who tell me that they actually make grocery lists and
meal planning is what we do now.
हाँ वही तो मतलब जैसे सौदा लाने जाना है and पूरा month का stock up on all the groceries, like your rice in any case comes for the year. Then if you're making खिचड़ी जैसे खुपली बन रही या कुछ बन रही तो उसके दाल उसका सब कुछ लाके whatever the family consumes. And
my favorite thing is to have a good stock of fried onions. So, all my friends would make fun of me, but I said if you have fried onions, there's so many things you can make with it, and which you don't need to. That takes a lot of your time in the kitchen.
And it's such a delicious thing to put into food. Anything in your gravies, in just about anything you can put fried onions and make a fried onion paste, and chatpat things are ready.
Yeah.
It's so absolutely wonderful, and it just adds a wonderful flavor to everything. And then planning menus, do you also plan a menu or do you just play it by ear?
No. Now I've started planning so that you get all your groceries, at least your stuff ready before. Otherwise, suddenly you see that you're out of stock of whatever.
And then nobody has the energy to get up and go and do things also at that point in time. Kaam karne wale kaam kar rahe hain. The ghar walas, definitely, if you don't have to go out, you'd rather just not go out.
Yeah.
ठीक है. This sounds really wonderful, Shehrezad. I hope you're going to be. I'm waiting for the recipes from you, so I'm going to include them in the description.
Okay.
For the dal and the dahi vada.
Dahi vada. Okay, both of them.
Yeah, please, because I see. Although the dahi vada is pretty simple, but it would be nice to include, because the minute you say dahi vada, everyone says the medu vada kind of thing. But since this is not that, it would be interesting, and especially with the hara chutney in your dahi also and things, so it would be really interesting. I'd like to,
and it's very simple and easy to make.
Absolutely. And I'd like for our listeners to know of this as well. So thank you so much for being here, and I wish you a very fruitful month of fasting, and I hope you stay well, everybody stays well.
Thank you, Payal, and thank you for having me. It was really nice talking to you.
Thank you again. और यहाँ पर हम खत्म करते हैं आज का रसोई के रहस्य का ये एपिसोड. रमजान मनाने वालों को हम सब की तरफ से बहुत बहुत बधाई बोलेंगे, आपके लिए दुआएं मांगेंगे, सब करेंगे. होपफुली इसके आखिर में we will talk about when Eid is finally celebrated and we shall know more about food then. तब तक के लिए जुड़े रहिए रसोई के रहस्य के साथ. नमस्कार.